Let's talk about CPQ, or Configure Price Quote, and how we can transform this business process with agents and business skills in Dataverse and Dynamics 365 Sales. All right, what we're going to cover off firstly is what is CPQ and why it matters. Next, we're going to talk about an agentic solution using Dataverse Business Skills and Copilot Studio. And we'll get hands-on with a demo where I'm going to show you, firstly, Dataverse Business Skills. This is a really cool preview feature from the Dataverse team. We'll talk about how to build a product BOM, or bill of materials, with business skills. This is a core CPQ functionality that we can use with natural language. And we'll see an agent assembling opportunity products on an opportunity from the business skill. All right, what is CPQ? Well, it stands for Configure Price Quote, and it is a rules engine that is used for running complex quotes, things that exceed the out-of-the-box capability of opportunities and quotes in Dynamics 365 Sales. This is generally used in industries where you've got either highly regulated or very configurable products. Think telecom, manufacturing, high tech, things like that. I'll give you a good example, a simple example. Let's say you are building cabinets, and a certain type of wood is going to use a certain type of hinge, and that certain type of hinge is going to use a certain type of screw. Now, when you are configuring the quote, you want to make sure that you follow those rules so that you don't get the wrong hinge or the wrong screw or something like that. And that's what a CPQ helps you do. Now, Dynamics 365 doesn't do this natively today. You need to go out and get a third-party ISV to handle this functionality for you. But effectively, anytime your quoting exceeds the onboard capabilities in Dynamics 365 Sales, so you need an advanced rule engine, something to do multi-tier pricing, things like that, that's when you start to need tools like CPQ. Now, traditionally, when we implement CPQ in Dynamic Sales, firstly, we're going to go and purchase and implement Dynamic Sales. Then we're going to use a third-party ISV solution, and then we will output our complex quotes in Dataverse. Now, this is the way it's traditionally done today. And CPQs tend to have a relatively high cost of ownership. You're looking at 6 to 7 figures over the course of 3 years to purchase the ISV solution, configure it, maintain it, all that good stuff to do your complex quoting. But what if there was a different approach? What if we could use some of the new tools available to us using large language models and natural language to configure product BOMs in Dataverse and then go and assemble them without a traditional rules engine? And this is what this looks like. So firstly, we're going to use business skills. For those of you unfamiliar with business skills, this is a preview feature in Dataverse that effectively lets us extend our agents with a microservice. We can add instructions to agents, basically a microservice, without having to go and update and test and publish our agent. We can simply add new instructions that the agent has access to. So as our business processes grow and change, we can update our agent's capabilities with natural language without having to go through a lengthy SDLC process. So we can configure our product BOMs, or bill of material, in the business rules. Then we can create an agent in Copilot Studio and use Dataverse MCP as our orchestration to be the brain to start replacing that complex rules engine. When we interact with the agent, it can access the business rules and then go about using the MCP server to compile the products on the quote per the instructions that we've given it. And then our users can interact with this agent, and they can do it in several different ways. We can deploy a CPQ agent to M365 Copilot or to Dynamics 365 Sales. We can do it either way, but effectively, our users can now interact with this agent in the application or in the conversational layer. And in terms of the total cost of ownership, you're looking at the cost of configuring the agent plus your consumption of Copilot Studio messaging credits. So that's So the figures that I've popped in the slide here are based on the assumptions that you see. You can make your own. There's a great tool from Microsoft to help estimate your usage of Copilot Studio credits. All right, so that's what CPQ is. That's why it matters, and that's how we can potentially take a new approach using agents, business skills, and Dataverse MCP. Let's get hands-on and let's see the demo. So what we're going to do is we are going to use business skills to create an agentic CPQ feature. I'm going to show you how we can redefine the CPQ conversation from complex rules engines to agents for certain scenarios. And effectively, you're going to see a low barrier of entry. We're going to have natural language to configure our CPQ. We simply add natural language BOMs into the Dataverse Business Skills, which our agent can access. And so we've got a much lower cost, faster time to value for assembling these complex product bill of materials. All right, let's pop out of the slides. Let's get into Dynamics 365 and let's see this in action. All right, so first things first, let's go to Business Skills. And like I said, this is a preview feature from the Dataverse team. And I've got a simple BOM that I've assembled here in the business skill. Now, when you go to configure them, you simply need to specify whether the organization or the individual can view it. You give it some details, a unique name and a name, a description to help the agent know when to use it, and then you give it some instructions. And so when we're assembling the cafe coffee package, do these things. Look up the opportunity that I've given you. Then start looking up the products. Don't override the price. Add these products in these quantities. Only add these products, and don't substitute other products. So that's the instructions. Now what's really cool about this is when I come over here to my agent, you can see that this is a relatively simple agent. It's just got some very simple instructions. Your job is to go find the BOM in the Dataverse Business Skills and do what it tells you to do. I've given it access to the Dataverse MCP server. Now I'm using the preview version of that, which gives us a little bit of extra capability, particularly around accessing these business skills. But this is a really lightweight, very simple agent. It doesn't have a lot of complexity to it. I've got most of my complexity here in the instructions in the business skills. All right, let's go ahead and let's see this in action. So I'm going to ask it to assemble the cafe coffee package for and I'll just copy and paste my opportunity here, the CPQ demo 8 May 1. Now let's quickly come over here to the opportunities just to show you that there is no sleight of hand here. Here we go. All right, so this is my opportunity, and if I come here to products, there are no products associated with this opportunity. This is just a blank opportunity that I've given to the agent to go and add products to it based on these instructions in the business skill. All right, let's run the agent and see this in action. So it's going to go call the MCP server. It's found the opportunity. Now, it's really cool watching the Dataverse MCP tool reason over my data, watching it solve problems the way I would as a human. It's really cool to watch it just telling me what it's doing in real time. And there we go. It says it's gone and added these products in these quantities based on the business skill. All right, let's come back to our opportunity and let's refresh. And look at that. The agent has added the products in the quantities specified to this opportunity. So it has gone and assembled this bill of materials for me on a product. It's done it agentically. All I had to do was write natural language instructions, create a lightweight agent, and it can go and do that. All right. Well, what about extending this agent? let's say I need to add more business skills. This is where this gets really cool, and you can start to see the natural language capabilities. So if I'm here in business skills and I click new, now I've got one that I've pre-populated here. Select organization. Let's give it a unique name. And we'll give it a name and a description. So this is used to assemble the widget product package. And let's give it some instructions. So when you're assembling the widget package, follow these instructions. Add these products in these quantities. So I've gone and I have now, let me just quickly save, and I have now extended the capabilities of my agent. I've done this by adding a row in Dataverse. I didn't have to go reconfigure my agent to tell it to go look for this. It can already do that via the MCP server. All I needed to do was add this into Dataverse. Okay, let's go ahead and let's run this on another opportunity that I've created here. So let's pop back here to my opportunities. And I've got my demo opportunity number 2. Let's come here to products. All right. Let's see how it does. Let's say assemble the widget product package for, whoops, that's not what I want. Here we go, for the to opportunity. All right, let's see how we do. So, agent's getting to work, calling the MCP server, looking up the opportunity. It's found the opportunity. Now it's going to start looking through the business skills. It's found the widget product BOM skill. Look at that, I just added it. It's got the instructions, and now it's getting to work. Found all 5 of the widget products. And we'll cross our fingers and toes here. And it has added them to the opportunity. There we go. So it's added these products in these quantities. Let's quickly cross-reference this with our business skill. 6, 3, 9, 11, and 7. 6, 3, 9, 11, and 7. Awesome. All right, let's do a quick refresh on the products on our opportunity. And look at that. It has gone and done that. So I have gone and extended my agent's capabilities with natural language in Dataverse by simply adding the skill, and the Dataverse MCP tool was able to go and find it based on my prompt and assemble a new product BOM. So this is a demo of how you can start to think about complex rules-based processes like CPQ differently using agents and business skills in Dataverse to let natural language and agentic capabilities replace a traditional costly rules-based engine. Now, this wouldn't necessarily work for every CPQ scenario, but you can start to see how this gets you faster time to value for scenarios that may not necessarily require that full, complex, heavy-duty, rules-based CPQ. All right, that's it from me. Go do something awesome on the Power Platform today, and I'll talk to you soon.